Coming up on State of Events, fans mourn the death of Los Angeles icon Nipsey Hussle.
And SF students react to the mosque terrorist attacks in New Zealand. State of Events starts now.
Welcome to State of Events. I'm Zach Priest.
And I'm Ashley Loessa. Let's get down to our top story. The San Francisco Police Department is investigating a crime where a man pulled out a gun on a family member near San Francisco State. The incident happened on Sunday afternoon on Vidal Drive near the campus, where the suspect left the scene in a silver Cadillac SUV. School officials at San Francisco State say that there is no threat at this time, and more updates will be provided as the investigation continues.
San Francisco State students voiced their concerns regarding the New Zealand mosque shooting. Reporter Alexandria Hernandez has the story.
Students and faculty gathered together at SF State for a campus discussion concerning the terrorist attacks on 2 mosques in New Zealand.
I live in America. In America, this happens too often. Quite frankly, I think we're very desensitized to a lot that's happening in the world. So it's very critical. It's a personal commitment of mine to try to engage with people on a personal level about some of this stuff so that I can really make a difference from that more authentic space.
50 people were killed in Christchurch, New Zealand after a gunman opened fire. Authorities discovered an 87-page manifesto filled with anti-immigrant and anti-Muslim speech.
We often think that it's only in the U.S. where these type of racist acts occur, and we forget about the bigger picture, where it's a worldwide issue.
New Zealand's prime minister and other politicians passed legislation banning all semi-automatic weapons just days after the tragedy. In the U.S., countless mass shootings have occurred in the last few years, yet gun control is a topic that is still frequently debated.
Acknowledging the root of the issue, that this isn't necessarily something that we can only legislate away. While I do think that it's a component of the issue, our lawmakers across the world need to address this adequately.
I think we're not doing enough as a nation, as a world, to fix these issues. Having a sense of community and having it start in the schools could really have a big effect.
For State of Events in San Francisco, I'm Alexandria Hernandez.
The trial for the ghost ship fire begins today in Oakland. 2 years after the deadly fire killed 36 people, Derek Almana and Max Harris have been charged with 36 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Almana was the master tenant who leased the building and converted it into an artist collective for many local musicians. Harris lived in the warehouse as the creative director and helped organize the music event that night 2 years ago. The fire department stated that the building was a fire trap, citing the lack of fire exits, electrical wire protection, and makeshift stairways as the cause for the fatalities. Both suspects will begin their trials today and are likely in for a long process through the court system.
Shots were fired on a freeway near Martinez Sunday night. California Highway Patrol responded to shots being fired late Saturday night on Highway 4 near Martinez. The driver was headed westbound in the highway when a car started tailgating them. They pulled off the road to let the car behind them pass over. Pulling over, the suspects in the car began yelling at the victims. Shortly following the dispute, the suspect pulled out a handgun and fired 2 shots into the windshield of the vehicle. Both victims ducked under the dashboard to avoid the bullets. The suspect then got back into his car and fled the scene. No one was injured in the incident. However, the suspect is still on the run. If you have any information on the suspect, California Highway Patrol urges you to call. The family of a 4-year-old Oakland boy shot in the head calls on Governor Gavin Newsom to let the father in jail visit his son. 4-year-old Naval Jackson is in critical condition after accidentally shooting himself in the head with his mother's boyfriend's gun last week. The boy is on life support at Children's Hospital in Oakland, where he has undergone surgery with no sign of brain activity. The boy's father, Nathan Jackson, is an inmate at Salinas Valley State Prison, where he is serving a 9-year sentence for assault with a weapon. Jackson is a level 4 inmate where community leave is not granted to him, but his family hopes their plea to Gavin Newsom will make an exception.
A tent city in San Jose has been shut down after the city was the one who sanctioned it. The FAA deemed the current location of the village unfit for residential use. They cited the noise from incoming airplanes at Manita San Jose International Airport as the cause for the location being unfit. The city of San Jose has promised to find a new location for the residents. However, they have been hitting many roadblocks in their search. Residents of the closing village have been given a 30-day voucher to a hotel nearby. Authorities say if there is no location found by the end of the 30 days, then the homeless people will most likely move back into their older location by Coyote Creek.
The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency announced an $86,000 settlement with Tesla over hazardous waste violations. The violations were discovered during an unannounced visit by inspectors at the company's Fremont factory in 2017. Tesla failed to comply with air emission standards for equipment leaks, violated management requirements for generators of hazardous wastes, and failed to make proper waste determination for certain waste made at the plant. The settlement includes a $55,000 payment to the Fremont Fire Department to buy emergency response equipment, such as drone with hazardous waste sensors, and a second device to detect unauthorized drone that could disrupt an emergency response. The settlement also includes a $31,000 fine. For those of you scared of heights and hot air balloons, here's a story that will scare you even more. 3 people were injured in Yountville after a hot air balloon hit a power line. The incident happened on Monday morning, where one person was taken to the hospital by helicopter with serious injuries. 2 other people suffered minor to moderate injuries and went to the hospital by ambulance.
Next on State of Events, Trump is planning to cut off aid to 3 Central American countries. That story is up next.
And then find out how tractors have improved agriculture in Yolo County. Stay tuned.
There are many important days in your child's life. Their first birthday, their first big game, their first day of school. Choosing the right school for your child sets them on a path for success. Apply on time. It's for your family's future.
No matter how much you give, every cent donated can turn into something useful. Take part in building homes. Take part in building hope. Habitat for Humanity, Greater San Francisco, building homes and hope in Marin, San Francisco, and the Peninsula.
Claudia is a pre-med student in search of a global health experience. She desires a program abroad that provides cultural immersion. Claudia wants a credible program that affirms her interest in the medical field. Most importantly, she seeks an international community-based health program. Claudia finds herself with Child Family Health International. How will you distinguish yourself? Visit cfhi.org.
Welcome back to State of Events.
Reporter Lisa Libraniak has a closer look on the growing agriculture industry just a few hours away in Yolo County.
I'm Lisa Libraniak for State of Events, and I'm at the dairy cattle facility at UC Davis. Over 300 cows reside here, but behind me is probably only about 35, I would say. But they play a major role in UC Davis's agriculture program for research purposes. Some of the research involves areas such as nutrition, environmental sustainability, animal welfare, genetics, and herd health. One fun fact is that milk from the dairy is sold to Hillmar Cheese Company, located in California. Yolo County is known for its agriculture, and just around the corner from Dairy Road in Davis, you can find tons of farms such as Van Brothers Almond Orchard. But without the help of tractors, harvesting would not be as easy as it is today.
When I first started working for Caterpillar, we had quite a few customers that were just leveled the land. That's all they did. That was their profession, where you don't see near that much anymore. We have so many different weather conditions and soil types. Like you go down in our delta, there's a lot of peat ground. It's very organic and it's very fine. In fact, that ground they farm when it gets a little bit wet. When it gets really dry, it's just dust. And it's a whole different, most of the farmers up in here are much larger than ones down in the delta.
Tractors are the backbone of a farm and serve the widest range of functions. Without their help, fresh produce at local farmers markets would not exist. Tractors are making farms extremely efficient and are a major factor to growers in order to maintain an environmentally friendly environment for their crops. In Yolo County, Lisa Labrignac, State of Events.
President Donald Trump cuts aid and threatens to close the southern border in response to an increase of immigrants entering the U.S. The president said on Friday that he cut off $500 million in foreign aid approved by Congress for Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. Trump blamed the Central American governments for not doing enough to prevent the influx of immigrants, which U.S. officials say is overwhelming immigration controls at the southern border with Mexico. Trump declared in a series of tweets that he will close the border this week if Mexico does not make progress. The decision to close the border could come with economic setbacks such as food shortages, rising prices, people out of work, and a decreased stock market.
Now we're going to toss things over to reporter Samuel Chua for the World News Roundup.
Thanks, Ashley. There's so much happening around the world. A Vietnamese woman accused of using a nerve agent to assassinate the half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has escaped the death penalty in Malaysia. Tuan Thi Huong has accepted a lesser charge of causing hurt by a dangerous weapon. On Monday, Malaysian prosecutors offered to reduce the murder charge against Huong, who is the only suspect still behind bars following the release of a co-accused last month. The judge sentenced Huong to 3 years and 4 months in jail, from a date of arrest in February 2017. But Huong's lawyers said that he expected she could be released as early as May this year. In light of the topic regarding the death penalty, the country of Brunei announced that the punishment of gay sex and adultery will include the death by stoning. It will start this Thursday, April 3rd, and the move is part of an implementation of Sharia law. Other punishments like the amputation of a hand and a foot for the crime of theft will also be installed. Human rights groups were quick to express their horror, with Amnesty International urging Brunei to immediately halt implementing the new penalties, which they call vicious and inhumane. And to end with a happier note, pickle lovers, this story is for you. I'm excited to announce McDonald's new McPickle burger. Just kidding, it was an April Fool's joke. The company in Australia shared this photo of a so-called McPickle that looks just as it sounds, with pickles layered between melted cheese, ketchup, and sesame buns. Although it was a joke, some people took it seriously and actually wanted a bite. One clearly disappointed pickle fan wrote, "OMFG, if this is an April Fool's joke, I'm gonna be mad." To rub salt in the wound, McDonald's Australia added a comment to their Instagram post that it was available until yesterday. Sorry, pickle fans. Well, that's it for your World Roundup. Back to you guys at the desk.
I can't believe that pickle burger's fake, dude. Nothing beats a McDonald's pickle. Well, the New York Fire Department is cracking down on escape rooms across the city. The department has issued 7 vacate orders across the city. 4 escape rooms have already been shut down, and 3 others are partially shut down. This comes in the wake of 5 teens that died in Poland at an escape room that caught on fire. The girls were locked in the room and had to find a way out. When a fire broke out, they had no way of getting out of the room, and the building burned down. The New York Fire Department found that 21 violations were in order for multiple reasons that ranged from safety hazards to evacuation routes to operating at max capacity. 9 locations were issued fines, as well as the fire department promises to keep tabs on the locations that they remain open. Measles are making a comeback, and it's in the worst way possible. The CDC has found themselves fighting a virus that was eradicated in the year 2000. They have confirmed over 387 cases across 15 states that occurred between January 1st and March 28th. The CDC defines an outbreak as 3 or more confirmed cases in the same area. They have confirmed 6 major outbreaks across 4 states, which include New York, Washington, New Jersey, and California. The CDC states that the outbreaks are directly correlated to parents who are not vaccinating their children, which has become increasingly popular in the last few years. The last major outbreak of measles was in 2014, when about 600 cases were confirmed. The CDC says that this outbreak is on track to surpass 600 cases.
Next on State of Events, find out why people are rethinking their trip to Santa Cruz.
And baseball season is finally upon us. Sports reporter Nicole Gitsky has more on that after the break.
When it's time to choose healthcare for your teen, you want the best. When it's time for your teen's questions to be answered, you want a professional you can trust. At Valencia Health Services, your time is well spent. We provide professional, quality healthcare. Valencia Health Services, dedicating quality time to professional healthcare because your teen's health is our first priority. Valencia Health Services, quality time because we care.
Welcome back to State of Events.
Lots of drama in the entertainment world, starting with the tragic death of Nipsey Hussle. The legendary Los Angeles philanthropist, entrepreneur, and rapper was shot dead at his clothing store called Marathon in South Los Angeles as he was promoting his clothes and speaking to locals. At about 3 p.m., Nipsey was shot in the head just outside of the front doors of his store. He was quickly transported to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead. The investigation is ongoing, and the police department is working to bring these people to justice as soon as possible. 2 other people were also injured in the shooting, but their injuries are not life-threatening. Police identified Eric Holder as the prime suspect and are asking the public to report any information they might have.
A tragedy for all Nipsey fans indeed. Back here in the Bay, a horror film, former baseball player, and a Castro closure keep the fans buzzing. Here's Karen Alarcon with the entertainment scoop.
Thank you, Ashley and Zach. Here's the latest entertainment news creating headlines. Jordan Peele's new horror film Us is scaring people from visiting Santa Cruz Boardwalk. A Twitter user wrote that Santa Cruz is canceled, while another joked that they won't be returning to school. CEO of the Santa Cruz Area Chamber of Commerce predicts that it would actually attract more tourism. Boardwalk spokesman said that the amusement park had a strong number in attendance during the weekend, but wasn't sure if it had to do with the weather. However, they did see an increase in guests riding the Haunted Castle and Fright Walk, but still unsure if it's related to the movie. These are more tweets from the... Hello?
Keep going with the second like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep talking.
Hello? Good afternoon. Hello?
Anything? Just keep telling your story.
Okay.
Read off your script.
Protesters in Chicago gathered around the office of the attorney responsible for dropping all charges against Empire actor Jussie Smollett. The city's police union rallied outside of Cook County Attorney Kim Foxx's office on Monday, clashing with the counter-protest in support of Fox. The union protested against Fox's decision to drop the 16 felony disorderly conduct charges against Millett, who was accused of staging a hate crime against himself in January. The police department spent about $130,000 in overtime as police searched for the criminal of the alleged attack. Fox has faced criticism for her decision and for removing herself from the case, allowing her chief deputy to make the decision to drop the charges. Fox says that the result is not uncommon in a low-level felony case where the accused has no criminal history.
And next up on State of Events, Nicole is here with a peek at the brand new Chase Center and a quick sports update. Nicole?
That's right. Well, basketball may be winding down for this season. There are some exciting things coming for the Warriors next season. I had the chance to check out the Chase Center this week.
Construction is underway at the Chase Center in the Mission Bay neighborhood, which will become the home of the Golden State Warriors. This $1.4 billion stadium is said to be one of the nicest arenas in the U.S. The building will house 2 entrances along with a 5.5-acre park, restaurants and shops, a hotel, and office spaces. The stadium is specifically built for NBA games and will result in better viewing angles. The front entrance holds a unique piece of architecture, which the Warriors are calling the Gatehouse. The pre- and post-game coverage will take place here and has wraparound steps that lead you to the top. San Franciscans are looking forward to the Warriors being in their backyard.
I mean, who isn't excited about the Warriors coming in?
But some wish they would go back to Oakland.
Pretty worried about it because the more stuff happening here, the worse the traffic gets.
Luckily, in a coincidence, Muni has a stop right in front of the Chase Center, allowing Warrior fans to travel through public transport rather than congesting the streets.
The Chase Center is scheduled to open on September 6, 2019, in time for the Warriors' 2019-2020 season. In San Francisco, I'm Nicole Gitsky with State of Events.
The Warriors have also proposed to use the parking lots down by Giants Stadium as overflow parking. The Warriors and Giants will face a handful of games that will overlap, which may pose a problem. Over to baseball, where the San Francisco Giants will have their home opener this Friday against the Tampa Bay Rays. Reminder to fans that former AT&T Park is now Oracle Park. That's what's exciting in the sports world. I'll send it back to you two at the desk.
Thank you, Nicole. All right, now that we mentioned it, I have to ask, Zach, did you watch Us?
I did. It was a real white knuckler. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. Did you see it?
I did. I didn't see it just once. I saw it twice. And I have to say, it is definitely one that you have to put on your list of movies to watch. And that is all for this week's State of Events. Make sure to follow us on our social media. We want to hear from you. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
And for more stories, be sure to go check out our website at stateofevents.net. In Studio One, I'm Zach Priest.
And I'm Ashley Loessa. See you next week.
We're clear, I think. No, I should hope.
Yay. Our was so good.
Are you getting any audio from the mic back now? Audio? Someone? Anyone?
Hello? You can't hear anything?
She power cycled it multiple times while she was standing up there.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Did it done? Do I turn it off?
No.
Like made sure it was on.
Yeah, no, like everyone heard it. I don't know what that was. And it definitely was like on just now, and I wasn't seeing any levels on it. And then when you power cycled it for like the third time, then it started doing levels. But
That's so weird. And then I tried to keep reading, and the freaking prompter just went up, and I was like, "What?" I'm gonna start.
Mike, you guys, Ashley, can you go first?
Legendary Los Angeles rapper Nipsey Hussle was shot and killed in a shooting. The philanthropist on his clothing store called.
Zach, go ahead.
Measles are making a comeback, and in the worst way possible. The CDC has found themselves fighting a virus that was eradicated in the year 2000. They have confirmed 387 cases across 15 states that occurred between January 1st and March 28th. The CDC defines an outbreak as 3 or more confirmed cases in the same area. They have confirmed 6 major outbreaks across 4 states, which include New York, Washington, New Jersey, and California. The CDC states that the outbreaks are directly correlated to parents who are not vaccinating their children, which has become increasingly popular in the last 4 years. The last major outbreak of the measles was in 2000.
This outbreak.
Do I read from?
Just read through. Get levels.
Okay. Hello. It says, "Welcome back to State of Events."
Vaccination thing.
Give me 1 sec. Thank you, Ashley and Zach. Here's the latest entertainment news creating headlines. Jordan Peele's new horror film, Us, is scaring people from visiting Santa Cruz Boardwalk. A Twitter user wrote that Santa Cruz is canceled, while another joked that they won't be returning to school. CEO of the Santa Cruz Area Chamber of Commerce predicts that it would actually attract more tourism. Boardwalk spokesman said that the amusement park had a strong number in attendance during the weekend, but wasn't sure if it had to.
I love this. Hi. Can you hear me? You're good?
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
But you can keep talking to get levels.
Oh. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday.
No. Welcome back to State of Events. Lots of drama in the entertainment world, starting with the tragic death of Nipsey Hussle. The legendary Los Angeles philanthropist, entrepreneur, and rapper was shot dead at his clothing store called Marathon in South Los Angeles as he was promoting his clothes and speaking to locals. At about 3 p.m., Nipsey was shot in the head outside the front doors to his store. He was quickly transported to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead. The investigation is still ongoing, and the department is working to bring these people to justice as soon as possible. 2 other people were also injured in the shooting, but their injuries were not life-threatening. Police identified Eric Holder as the prime suspect and are asking the public to report any information they might have.
A tragedy for all Nipsey fans indeed. Back here in the Bay, a horror film, former baseball player, and a Castro closure keeps the fans buzzing. Here's Karen Alarcon with the entertainment scoop.
Thank you, Ashley and Zach. Here's the latest entertainment news creating headlines. Jordan Peele's new horror film, Us, is scaring people from visiting Santa Cruz Boardwalk. A Twitter user wrote that Santa Cruz is canceled, while another joked that they won't be returning to school. CEO of the Santa Cruz Area Chamber of Commerce predicts that it would actually attract more tourism. Boardwalk spokesman said that the amusement park had a strong number in attendance during the weekend, but wasn't sure if it had to do with the weather. However, they did see an increase in guests riding the Haunted Castle and Fright Walk, but still unsure if it's related to the movie. On to more entertainment news. Former Oakland A's player Jose Canseco launched a podcast Wednesday where he talks not just baseball, but everything from finances to divorce and marriages, baseball, Sasquatch, aliens, and the galaxy. Canseco made headlines when he exposed Alex Rodriguez by saying, "One of the biggest liars I've seen in my life." On his podcast, he dished that Rodriguez had cheated on J-Lo with his ex-wife, Jessica, amid proposing to Lopez, and goes into detail as how A-Rod met Jessica. Last but not least, a staple in the Castro, the cafe closed Sunday for a remodel that will last until June or little longer in hopes to bring back the bar as it once was. The patrons want to create a brand new state-of-the-art bar and nightclub. The cafe is an attraction to the younger crowd of the LGBT community and their friends. Though the closure is temporarily, Firewood Cafe is permanently closing on 18th Street. The cafe plans to reopen in time for Pride around June 17th as all goes well. Bo and Toad Hall are about to get more crowded. That concludes the entertainment roundup for this week. Check out our website at stateofevents.net. I'm Karen Alarcon. Back to you two at the desk.
Protesters in Chicago gathered around the office of the attorney responsible for dropping all charges against Empire actor Jussie Smollett. The city's police union rallied outside of Cook County Attorney Kim Foxx's office on Monday, clashing with a counter-protest in support of Foxx. The union protested against Foxx's decision to drop the 16 felony disorderly conduct charges against